Hello and welcome. This video is fast template building in Logic Pro X Part 2. Now I'm going to take a look at a couple of things in this video. We're going to take a look at the new feature that was introduced in Logic 10.7.5, which is track stacks and nestled within track stacks, like groups within groups, which is particularly useful when you are doing fast template building. And I'm also going to show you how you can build a template on the fly very quickly, utilizing stacks within stacks and utilizing my method of template building. Now, in my first video, I showed you my universal template, and this is it. It is basically a blank template. There was nothing loaded into it. These are blank instrument channels on each of these different groups. But what I have got is a whole bunch of track stacks that I've already created, and each of these track stacks are pre-labeled into the groups that you are most likely going to get asked for as stems by your publisher. It's a pretty extensive list. It's a list that one of my publishers gave me, and I've used it to create this template with. But if I have overlooked anything and there's anything else that needs to be added, there's a whole bunch of spares down here as well. And these could be used, like I say, if I've overlooked anything, or you could also use them in case you want to layer up several libraries, several different, like, I don't know, pad libraries or several different brass libraries. You could have them on separate groups, so you can mix them in different ways. Or you could just use them however you want. These are spares to be used however you need them. But I have them hidden for now. Now, each of these different groups, each of these different track stacks is a self-contained unit. And what I mean by that is that as well as the instruments inside, you also have all the send effects for each of the different groups. They all have their own send effects, and they are routed back into the track stack, and the return channels are nestled inside the track stack. So each of these track stacks, each of these groups is a self-contained audio unit. And that just makes stemming so much easier. So every single one of these groups, except for the spares, undo that, except for the spares. I haven't done it with the spares yet. You have to do that yourself. But all of the groups that have been pre-labeled have all been routed into what I call print buses. As you can see here, Woodwind's print bus. And then those print buses are then routed into this folder down here that I've created full of audio channels for recording your stems. So all of the audio comes out of these track stacks into the print buses, and then out of the print buses into these audio channels. And what that means is at the end of your session, when you've finished writing your track, you record all of your stem channels, hit record, hit play, run through the track one time, and all of your stems are recorded in one pass. As well as that, I've got these stems then routed into other print buses, which then get routed into these alt mix audio channels. So you've got your no instrument, your no percussion, your no choir, and your full mix. So as well as doing your stems all in one go, you can do all of your alt mixes in one go as well. Just speeds up the whole process of stemming at the end of your session, instead of having to go through and soloing each group one by one and bouncing it down as a separate audio file, which is, it's time consuming. You can do it all in one go, and then it's done. So it's a blank template, and to speed up the actual process of template building, I use Logic's browser, Logic's library browser. And what I'm doing is I am saving all of my sample libraries as Logic browser presets. So I can just go in here, and there's all the patches in this particular section of the libraries. And what I've done is I've kind of followed the same structure that Contact uses. These are actually a bundle that I recently bought in the 2022 Black Friday sale from Orchestral Tools. That is the Metropolis Ark bundle. These are all Sine. They've got their own sample player, Sine sample player. So these patches won't work with the Contact libraries, but they will work with the Sine ones, which, like I say, is their own sample player. And they don't follow the same kind of structure as Contact, but I have saved the patches in the same way as Contact does it, with single patches and multi patches. And then I've also added, if you were quick to notice there, I've also added this extra folder of track stacks. So like I say, with Logic 10.7.5, they have introduced a feature where you have an extra hierarchical layer of track stacks. So you can have a stack within a stack. And so what this means is where before, say for instance, if I was load in woodwinds and I wanted to load some bassoons, these are all the different bassoon articulations. I use single articulations rather than multi articulations. You can use the multi patches and then use key switches or the articulation changer function within Logic to switch between articulations. I prefer having a single track per articulation or per sound. And so what I'd have to do is I'd have to go and I'd load the sustains, and then I would have to duplicate, and then I would have to load the Mercatos and then duplicate, and I'd have to go through until I've got all of the different articulations that I want to use in each project, which slows things down just a little bit. It's still a fast way of working because I'm not having to load up contact each time here and then go into the contact, or in this case sign browser, and then find the patch I want and load it. Then I can just do it with one click rather than several clicks. So it's still a fast way of doing it, but with the introduction of stacks within stacks, it is even faster. So now if I want to go in here, I can just go to my orchestra. This is my track stack folder that I've created. So what I did was I loaded all the articulations for each of the instruments and I saved it as a track stack. And so now when I can go in and I can go in with Holbein bassoons, it will load the track stack. And there are all of the articulations for that particular patch, all loaded inside a track stack, inside my main woodwinds track stack. And then I can just duplicate, and I can go up to the contra bassoons, and that's all my contra bassoon patches, all the articulations for that particular patch, and that's my woodwinds done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just to demonstrate just how quickly you can create a template on the fly using this method. I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to load every patch that I've already saved from Metropolis Ark 1 sign version, and just show you how quickly we can create a template. So going to the brass now, track stacks, orchestra. Now for some reason, I don't know why, maybe someone out there who knows about orchestras will know, French horns come first when you organising the score. So where are we? Schwarzstorm horns. This is the big 9 horn section. I would use this for lead lines. Now I should probably demonstrate a little quirk of Logic here. I don't know why Logic does this, but let's take a look in here. Oh, look at this. Finkenstein strings. It's just loaded all of them as Finkenstein strings. What you have to do, you have to come in, double click, everything's highlighted, hit backspace, hit return, and it will come up with the name as I saved it. For some reason, it must be a glitch within Logic. Like I say, if there's some Logic geniuses out there who might be able to, or Apple geniuses out there who watch this video, and they might be able to shed some light on why it seems to default onto Finkenstein strings instead of the name that I saved it as. Because at no point in time was this brass patch ever Finkenstein strings, but it just seems to default to that. But like I say, what you have to do is you have to double click, highlight everything, hit backspace, hit return, and it will come up with the name that I actually saved it as. But even having to do this little bit of annoying renaming, it's still a faster way of template building. But I'm not going to do this for the rest of the patches because it's just very boring video time, really. So what I'll do instead, now that I've shown you how to do it, just take it for read that you're going to have to spend an extra 5 minutes at the end of building your template just to go through and change all these names using the method I've just shown you. So that's the 2 horns. The 9 horns I use for leads. These ones I use like trombones. I use them for chords, basically. Then after the horns in the score order come trumpets. Then after trumpets, it doesn't have tenor trombones, it has bass trombones in this particular library. And again, if we look inside, it's all of the different articulations, even though they're named after Finkenstein strings. These are the articulations. If we just click on it, you can see over here. It's the Friedrich sustains. And then you can see that again it says Finkenstein strings, but it is actually the Mercato shorts. So yeah, that's the Friedrich trombones, bass trombones. Next is Simbassi. after Simbasi, we do the tubas. And that is all of our brass. Percussion, we've got... I did one track stack for the percussion, which has just like the menu plus the hits, and then I didn't actually bother doing a track stack because there's no point. It's just the same patch. There's no like extra articulations, so we can just have this drum set in here as well, because this comes with a drum kit. This particular library. Let's turn the hide on. There's no cymbals. There is a choir. So there's actually two sections for the choir, male and female. Track stacks, choir. Do the female first. There you go. There's all the articulations for the female. For some reason, that's not Finkenstein strings. So it's very particular, apparently, logic about which one it decides to name as those. And see, this one hasn't even got anything. So weird. Weird glitch in logic. I thought it was cured with this update, but it hasn't been, because I used to do it with my older patches as well. Keys, we're just going to load up the Drake piano. It's got a little piano patch in here. It's like a very kind of orchestral, stabby piano, I think. We're just going to do, is it band? No, it's not band. Where is it? It's in percussion. Yeah, it's a percussive piano. There we go. There's the piano and the keys. In this library there is no tuned, so we'll hide that. In fact, we'll hide all the stuff that isn't in there. We're going to keep synths and pads. Get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. There's none of these trailer sound effects in this library. It's just purely orchestral, except for a bit of guitar and bass. So we'll just hide all of those. Well, we did keys, string shorts. And I have saved the Finkenstein high strings shorts and all the different articulations for that. There's several marcatos plus several different spiccatos and staccatos. There's quite a nice selection of different shorts for this. Oh, wrong one. And the same goes for the Wolfenstein low string shorts. And that's the short strings done. Come in here again with the track stacks. This is the longs. Oops, no, not the choir. Up here, Finkenstein strings long. And again with the shorts. Oh no, not the shorts. Wolfenstein longs, that's it. Wolfenstein longs. And I've included every articulation of the longs in this track stack. I probably won't use every different articulation, but I just thought it might as well just have it there ready to go. If you did want to use it, you can always delete them or hide them if you're not going to use them. But all of the articulations, including the library, are in every single one of these track stacks. So basically, once you finish making this template, you have every patch from the library included in the base. Sign, track stacks, band. There's the bass. That's the bass done. Guitar, we've got a couple of different guitars. Kornmesser Guitar 1. These are really cool guitar patches. Actually, I'm not a guitarist myself, but I really do like playing around with these kind of real like heavy metal feel to them. I mean, this whole library kind of feels like a library designed to make Two Steps from Hell early tracks, like from their like Invincible album or something. This is the library where you could like recreate that kind of track with the guitar and the drums and the kind of orchestral stuff all blended together. And that's it for the library. Then probably I would still include, because you're always going to need them at some point, stick in a couple of alchemies into the synth and into the pads as well. And that is it. That is the entire Orchestral Tools library. loaded, and you've created your own template, and it's taken no time at all. It's taken what, 5-10 minutes, and it's every single patch from that library is now loaded and at your fingertips, ready to start making. Obviously, you have to give yourself an extra 5 minutes to go through and make sure this weird glitch that Logic has, kind of correcting it basically, and so everything is named how you want it named. But other than that, every single patch from this library, it's a big library as well, is all loaded and ready to go. Plus we've added a couple of extra things with the synths, with Logic's built-in Alchemy synthesizer, and there you go. That's your template done. You can just go up here, File, Save as Template, and it will take you to where the templates are saved, which is inside Project Templates, inside the Audio Music Apps folder, which is incidentally is also where all the patches are saved as well, inside Patches and Instrument, also inside the Audio Music Apps. But yeah, and there you go. Wait, start composing. It's taken 5-10 minutes, maybe 15, to build yourself a template with every patch from that particular library, and then you can just start playing away, and job done. And I've just used one single library there, but with this method you could chop and change whatever you want, you know. So I've got these Barnett contra bassoons there. I can just duplicate that, and I can just go into, I don't know, go into Metropolis Ark 2 and go into track stacks and orchestra, and I can just load up what can we load up there, contrabass, clarinets. So you don't just have to stick to just one library. Once you've got all of these patches saved as track stacks, you can just load up from any library. I mean, I could go to strings, I could go to short strings, and I could duplicate that, and I could go to something completely different. I could go into Spitfire, and I could go into Albion 1 and Albion 1 track stacks, and I can load the string shorts. And so, as well as all of the short strings from Metropolis Ark 1, I now have all of the short strings from, again, it's doing this stupid thing, all of the short strings from Albion 1 as well, all inside my short. So it really is, you can chop and change and mix and match your libraries at the click of a button, and super fast template building using this method of saving everything as patches over here and then loading it into a blank template here, which is all pre-routed. So you put in the work beforehand, and it speeds up the process afterwards. So yeah, that's it for this video. Track stacks within stacks is a great feature. It's really speeding up my workflow already. I've only just started doing it like a week ago, and it's already speeding things up incredibly. If you do want these presets, there will be a link below to take you to my store. It's taken me about a month to save all of these presets. There's about 2,000 of them, but they're all done now, and they're all in my store, and you can buy each of these libraries, or the presets for the libraries. You have to own the library already, for $10 each, and you will get all of the patches for each of the libraries, plus a template that I've created using all those patches in much the same way I just created a template just now. Except for Ark 1, that's a bit of a small one. I haven't bothered to share that because it's really easy to make yourself, and I might include it later on as a freebie or something. I don't know. But this blank template is a freebie. You can go download that from my store, and again, there'll be a link below. But like I say, all of these libraries, $10 each, and you will have to use them with the sign version. They won't work with the contact version. But yeah, that is it for this video. Click like and subscribe if you found this useful and educational at all, and I will see you next time very shortly with videos delving a bit deeper into all of these different libraries, because these are great libraries. I'm going to do little tracks using each of these different libraries and dissect them like I have with my other videos. So they will be coming very soon, taking a closer look at these signed Metropolis Ark libraries in this massive Metropolis Ark bundle. But until then, take care and see you later.